I recently attended a khutbah and I left feeling very upset, even angry. And I just wanted to share that experience with you in case others have had this. And, we're just wondering, is it just us, or is there something else going on? Is there a problem with what was being said? Is the problem with me? Is the problem with you? Is the problem, something else? So I just wanted to start that conversation because I've been noticing more often that I will leave a khutbah kind of not in the best of moods. And, I think it's important we explore this and we understand it and we see if there's maybe a better way moving forward. So let me explain what happened. Because of what's happening in Gaza now, the war, a lot of khutbahs recently have been dealing with this topic. The innocent loss of life, the women and kids that we see buried under rubble, it's really affected a lot of us. And the Imam was one of those people who was affected. He even admitted at the beginning of his khutbah that he's been watching a lot of videos, and even the last one he watched made him want to throw up, made him want to vomit. That's not a good thing. And it's not a good thing for a lot of reasons. Now, I think sometimes we feel so guilty about what's happening in another area of the world. We are so comfortable here living in the United States that we want to suffer too. And in watching these videos and feeling that pain that others feel, we think we're somehow like this is somehow virtuous. It's not virtuous. Actually, it's quite the opposite. Nobody benefits from us self-flagellating or, harming our mental health by exposing ourselves to these horrific scenes. We don't benefit from this. The innocent Palestinians who are being killed for no reason, other than just being in the wrong place at the wrong time, they don't benefit from this. And it actually keeps us from discovering a solution that will benefit everybody in the long term. And why do I say this? There's a really important concept I learned studying entrepreneurship. It's this idea of creating an environment where we can be creative, where we can problem solve. And there's this really great book called Abundance that talks about this. And one of the first pieces of advice this entrepreneur, this businessman gave in his book was stop watching the news. And his reasoning is this: news places us in a state of, fight or flight, okay? Because we're constantly bombarded by images of death, destruction, threat, and all we can do is either we run away or we fight, okay? And that puts blinders on us where we can't see things. There's no nuance, there's no creativity, it's just survival. And when we watch these videos, that's essentially the mode we're putting ourselves into, a state of fight or flight. And so I choose not to watch those videos. Why? Because I know what's going on. I catch a few here and there, and I watch a few seconds and I move on. I'm aware of the issue. I'm aware there's a problem. We need to do something to solve it. But if I end up in a state of fight or flight, I can't come up with creative solutions. Like that author said, he says, don't do that. Avoid that. Put yourselves in a state of a mindset of abundance, that there's hope and opportunity and only good things lying ahead of us. And he points to the past, look at all the incredible things. The news will tell you this is the end of the world. But if you look at reality, there's so much reason for hope and optimism. There's so much good, there's so much progress. So let's find those things instead of depressing ourselves with the negativity in the world. Let's look at the positivity, the good, the opportunity, the abundance that exists out there, and put ourselves in a relaxed, creative state of mind so that we can problem solve. We are in a place that is abundant. We are in a place that is safe, and that's not a bad thing. That means we can be part of a solution. We can think creatively. We can find solutions that for the long term that those people stuck in that horrible situation cannot, because they're literally in a state of fight or flight. All they can do is try to survive, but we can do more. And we have to stop subjecting ourselves to this mental abuse that causes us to think so small, to feel like the world is restricted, to feel like all we can do is fight or flight. No, those are not the only options. And it's up to us to be more creative, to be more thoughtful, to keep out this negativity. Be aware of it. Don't be in denial. Be aware of it, but try to find solutions. So he continued his khutbah, and he mentioned that, his first piece of advice was, we need to stop paying our taxes, using every possible loophole, okay? And again, this is somebody who's in a state of panic. They can only see what they can lose. They're not looking to see what beautiful potential is out there, what great things are ahead of us. And that was apparent because of all the videos he watched. He was like, okay, the best piece of advice he could give us was, stop paying your taxes, which again is very short-sighted. What percentage of our tax money really is going towards these weapons that are killing these innocent lives? Admittedly, some of it is, but how much of it is going towards pregnant mothers who are trying to feed their children? How much of it is going to elderly who are getting health care? How much of it is going towards people who are poor and not doing well in life, and all these social service programs that are benefiting them and keeping them from dying? So, we are saving lives with our tax money much more than we are taking them away. And we need to keep that in mind. And towards the end of the khutbah, his finale was making dua for the destruction of these people who are taking innocent lives. And look, I can understand that sentiment. But looking back into our own tradition, I see the Prophet always preferred peace, always preferred to turn an enemy into a friend, always preferred to see the best for people. And so rather than praying for this very negative thing, seeing the world in such a negative light, why not pray for something positive? May those who are doing wrong be guided. May those who have good in them but are afraid, may they be given courage to stand up for what's right. May we all be guided, and we all see the truth, and we all try to make the world a better place. Rather than spreading destruction, we spread good. I think that's a much more inspiring message for us, a much more hopeful message for us, a dua and a mindset that prompts us to think about what we can do to make the situation better. Rather than not paying your taxes, what positive can you put into the world? What organizations can you create to spread truthful information? What businesses can you create to create wealth for these people who are suffering? There's so many ways that we can positively affect the lives of those involved. But it starts with us having the right mindset. And that's really what I wanted to share today. Like I attend a lot of khutbahs where this sense of defeat is all pervasive. It's led to a very negative way of looking at the world, rather than a hopeful and positive and optimistic way. And it's our choice. We can choose to see the world in either way. But if we want to claim to be Muslims, we believe that God is in control of everything out there. Then and he promises that anything that happens is to our benefit, then we should believe that. We should really have a hopeful, optimistic view of our lives and the future, and strive to make that world possible. Please feel free to comment, share your experiences and your thoughts on this matter, and how can we create this better future that we want for ourselves, rather than just complaining and blaming others and seeing the world in such a negative light. What are the positive things that we can look forward to, that we can work and strive for? So those are my thoughts again. Thanks a lot for listening. Wish you the best. Bye.